What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles submitted to the channel by Voliharmin. Apologies if I've got your name wrong, but they're running a Shundo level 50 Hitmontop alongside a Greedent with Tackle and Kyurem. This trainer mentioned that this is the first time they've actually built a team for the Ultra League, but you wouldn't know that based on this submission as they went 19-6 on the day, gaining over 200 elo in the process. With that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What would be the most desirable Pokemon for you to catch as a Shundo and build for the Open Ultra League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Greedent into Swampert. Now do note we are running Tackle, so it's not as comfortable as it would normally be, but I think we still do win this in the zero shield scenario. So we're going to let the Hydro Cannon go through, go for a Body Slam here, and we should be able to make it to a second Body Slam in time to take out the Swampert. And even if this is an Earthquake, we should barely hang on, and it is the Earthquake, but we do survive that. We go straight for the Body Slam, and Body Slam will be enough damage where we can tackle, farm them down, and win that lead matchup. They come in with a Wall Rain, we let the Greedent go down, come in with our Shundo Hitmontop. It is best buddied as well. I think they mentioned that they forgot to boost it as the best buddy for a few of these battles, but I don't think it makes too much of a difference. We're going to let the second move go through, just another Icicle Spear. The opponent swaps into Talonflame, could have gone straight for that Stone Edge, but instead we swap into our Kyurem here, and we're going to let the first move go through, calling that it is just a Flame Charge, which it is, and now we go for a Glaciate. Glaciate will grab the first shield from the opponent. They already make it to another Flame Charge, but they're going for the full farm down. We can now go for a Dragon Claw, grabbing the final shield, and the opponent didn't realize the Incinerate damage went through there, so we get off a Stone Edge before they throw their energy, and at this point we will make it to a close combat, and this will be enough damage to take out the Wall Rain, and we take that game. Into the next battle, we see a Pidgeot in the lead, so another fairly neutral lead matchup here. We should be able to go for Body Slam just before they go for a Brave Bird here, so that's good timing. Body Slam does connect, and let's see, are we going to respect the damage? We do respect the damage, and they do full send the Brave Bird before swapping into Cobalion. Who'd have guessed Pidgeot would be paired with a Cobalion? Not like we've seen that before, but here the opponent's going to go for a Sacred Sword. Honestly, that does chunk quite a bit. We can let a second one go through, but we're at risk of being farmed down here if we go for the close combat, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But the opponent does just let it go down there. They do get the Wing Attack farm down, which is also fine for us. We are going to come in with our Greedent once again, and once again we make it to the Body Slam just before they make it to another Brave Bird, and the opponent does respect the damage this time around. At this point, I think we save the shield for the Kyurem here. They go for a Feather Dance this time, so really good call there. And now we come in with the Kyurem, and we should be shielding the first charge move here from this Cresselia, and that's exactly what we do. They go for a Moonblast. We can now go for a Glaciate. This will debuff their attack, meaning a Moonblast will no longer be enough damage to put us into range where they can farm us down, so we should be pretty good. We're going to let this move go through. Of course, we have no shields. They go for the Future Sight for some reason, even though Moonblast is super effective damage. Very interesting play there. We go for another Glaciate, and at this point, this opponent is going to have to throw another charge move. We can just let it go down, and honestly, we should be able to just fully tackle, farm down the remainder of this team, and we get the tackle farm down there. Tackle, farm down the Cresselia, and we take that game. So going into the next battle, we see a Giratina in the lead. We are running Dragon Breath on this Giratina, not we, sorry, the opponent is, so it does make it a little bit tougher, and of course we can't spam charge moves quite as fast because we're running Tackle and not Bullet Seed, so I'd imagine we do soft lose this matchup, but I don't think it's that bad, and we can't really afford to swap out either, so I imagine we just stay in this matchup until either we go down or the opponent goes down. So we go for a Crunch here. Crunch will be doing some big damage. We actually swap into the Kyurem here, hoping to get the farm down, but they do make it to a Dragon Claw, which is unfortunate, although we do eventually farm them down. They're going to come in with a Charizard. We go straight for the Glaciate, and this will mean that we do comfortably live a Dragon Claw, and Blast Burn will do more damage, so it'll be interesting to see if the opponent does go for a Dragon Claw or a Blast Burn. They just settle for the Dragon Claw there, and now we go for our own Dragon Claw, and it looks like it's a CMP tie. We grab the shield, and it was a CMP tie, which is absolutely perfect for us. Dragon Claw does now take us out. And we're going to come in with the Greedent here. The opponent swaps into Venusaur, and this is not looking too good for us. We are going to let the Frenzy Plant go through. That does big damage to us. We're now going to go for a Stone Edge. Hopefully this does do huge damage to the Venusaur, and it does, but they will be able to make it to another Frenzy Plant, and at this point we're just going to let it go down. Hopefully we can tackle farm them down here, or actually we just get to the Body Slam. That's absolutely fine. We've still got a shield remaining. We take out the Venusaur, and can we get to a final Body Slam before they farm us down? Yes we can, and Greedent coming in clutch, getting to the Body Slam, taking out the Charizard, and we take that game. So into the next battle, we see a Gyarados in the lead. So another matchup where we probably soft win this, just going straight Body Slam. And we're going to throw just before they make it to an Aqua Tail there, so very good timing. And Body Slam does go unshielded. It does some pretty big damage there. And the opponent's going to go for a Crunch here, not going for the Aqua Tail. They do get the defense drop, so that might have been their intentions, so it has worked. But we do make it to another Body Slam, grabbing the shield, and at this point I think we just let Greedent go down, and that's exactly what we do. So Aqua Tail does take us out. We can come in with the Kyurem here, get a Dragon Breath farm down, and let's see, if they have something like a Fairy type in the back, it's going to be very difficult, but they come in with a Snorlax. We're going to go straight for that Glaciate here, and I think eventually we will try and swap out of this matchup. And we're going to swap, and we catch the move perfectly. Amazing timing there. The opponent goes for a Body Slam bait. They come in with a Confusion Slowbro. That's certainly not ideal for us. We're going to go for a Stone Edge here. We do throw it on alignment, unfortunately. The opponent did get a 0-turn switch there, and they're able to fully Confusion farm us down. I think at this point we have to shield this up and hope we can Dragon Breath farm them down here. So they go for the Psychic. Can we get the Dragon Breath farm down in time? Yes, we get the farm down before they get to another charge move. And at that point, I think we had such a big energy advantage that the opponent recognizes they would just lose that game. And we actually go 5-0 in that first set. I did cut out one battle because it was quite laggy, so it wasn't too enjoyable to watch. But into the next battle, we see a Dragonite in the lead, Shadow Dragonite, and this is a match where unfortunately Superpower will just be enough damage to take us out. But let's see what happens here. We are going to let the move go through. It's just a Dragon Claw bait, that's huge. And now we can shield once, fully farm them down, and come out with a ton of energy loaded. And that's exactly what we do. We also don't have an awful lot of health either, so they won't get a massive farm down. So we go for the Crunch here. Crunch does some decent damage. We actually swap into the Hitmontop there. I don't agree with that play. I think we should have just been farmed down, because obviously a Kyurem doesn't really do well up against that Escavalier, but luckily for us they've only got a what's this thing called again? A Drapion. I was about to call it Skorupi, and so it's not the most dominant matchup for them. We make it to back-to-back close combats in time. We actually win the CMP tie as well, which is really good for us. We can now let the Crunch go through. That does take us out with the double debuff. But now we come in with our Kyurem here, and we are going to let this move go through. Yeah, we do let the Crunch go through, and they swap into their Escavalier. We tried to catch a move there. It doesn't work out. They weren't at a charge move yet. And now we're going to go for a Glaciate. That does debuff their attack, and hopefully we're now able to Dragon Breath farm them down. It's going to be incredibly close here, but we're able to live with literally 1 HP, and we've got a Dragon Claw loaded. That's absolutely massive. What a clutch game there. Dragon Claw barely taking out the Drapion, and we take that game. Into the next battle, we see a Purified Shiny Gliscor, and they're running Fury Cutter as well, so very interesting pick by this opponent. We're going to let the Night Slash go through. They didn't even build to a Return or an Earthquake, so easiest decision of our life to no-shield that move. We're going to go for a Body Slam, and you can see we are really chunking with our Fast Move and Body Slam damage compared to their Night Slashes, although they will slightly outpace us to the charge moves. We now go for another Body Slam. We grab a shield from the opponent. That's absolutely fine, and here I think we still let this move go through, and we should still be able to make it to one final Body Slam before they make it to another Night Slash. And at this point, the opponent is going to let it through. They do barely hang on actually, but I think we still live another Night Slash, which we do. We get the farm down, and they come in with a Cresselia here. This is really difficult, but we do at least make it to a Crunch, although this Cresselia is going to come out with a ton of energy here once they do get the huge farm down with Psycho Cuts. We have to come in with the Kyurem here, and we're going to shield the first charge move. They will make it to 2 Moonblasts before we even make it to a Glaciate, which is really unfortunate, but we're going to have to use both our shields in this matchup. And now we're going to overfarm, going for just a Dragon Claw in this matchup, not even trying to debuff their attack. We do grab a shield, but the opponent barely gets to the Moonblast here before we get to another Dragon Claw. It doesn't quite take us out, and now we're going to debuff this Giratina. Honestly, I don't think we're going to be able to win this game, although that really did a lot of damage, and it might put them into range where we can go for a Stone Edge and take them out with just counter damage. It's going to be very close now. We go for the Stone Edge here. How much damage does it do to the Giratina? It might put them into range where we can farm them down with the counter damage. It's going to be very close here. Let's see. The Giratina does make it to another charge move, but they are debuffed in their attack, so it won't take us out. And now they swap into the Cresselia. We go for the close combat. It's resisted, but it nearly takes them out. We swap into Kyurem here, and we're able to Dragon Breath, farm down Giratina, and take that game. Into the next battle, we see a Tapu Fini in the lead. And we're just going to stay in this matchup. It's a lot better to see it here than in the back, because we've got 2 Pokemon that are, of course, weak to fairies. I think we're just going to let this move go through here, and the opponent does go for the Moonblast. We shield at the last second, so very good shield usage there, and you can see these tackles are really chunking up against this Tapu Fini. We go for a Body Slam. The opponent lets it go through. They should only make it. No, they don't even make it to a Surf there. I think they probably did have the Surf there, but they didn't throw it in time. We're going to go for a Body Slam, and this does now grab a shield from the Talonflame, which is huge, and we make it to another Body Slam before they can go for a Flame Charge to take us out. So we grab both shields there. A bit of a questionable shield usage from the opponent here. They go for a Flame Charge. We don't want to give them the farm down, so we swap into Kyurem here, and we even make it to a Glaciate just before they make it to the Brave Bird, and that doesn't quite take them out, but the opponent does bank that charge move there, so good play by the opponent. They come in with Registeel, which absolutely walls us, but that's fine. We're going to go for the Glaciate here, and we should just let this move go through. The opponent goes for Zap Cannon. Oh my gosh, I think that might be the thing that triggers me most in the Go Battle League, is watching Registeel users go for the resisted Zap Cannon instead of going for a Focus Blast that would easily take out an opponent, but whatever. We're going to overfarm here, going for a close combat before this opponent can get off their charge move. Close combat takes them out there, although honestly they did go for the Incinerate and Overtap, so it might have been better if we didn't throw the move. They are now going to go for a Zap Cannon. It barely doesn't take us out, even with the defense drop, and we're able to take that game. Into the next battle, we see a Muck in the lead, and this is another fairly neutral matchup, which I think we should just be able to barely edge with our Greedent. So that's, you can see what's great about Tackle Greedent is that, unlike Bullet Seed, of course, we don't get to the charge moves quite as fast, but we just deals a lot of fast move pressure with those tackles. So we're going to let the second charge move go through. It is just a Thunder Punch this time around. We're now going to go for a Body Slam, and this should put them into range where we can farm them down, and that's exactly what happened. So we get the farm down. They come in with Cresselia. I think at this point we've got too much health for them to fully Psycho Cut farm us down, so it won't be quite as painful as the last time this happened. And yes, the opponent does eventually throw some of their energy. They go for a Grass Knot, takes out the Greedent, and now we can come in with our Kyurem here. And once again, we will have to shield the first charge move unless we're calling a bait. And they do actually bait us, which is really unfortunate. But we can now go for a charge move, but we actually swap and catch the move onto our Hitmontop. Interesting decision here. And it was a Moonblast, and now we're going to go for a close combat. The opponent does end up swapping. I didn't see what they caught it on. They caught it onto Trevenant, and that's absolutely awful for us. They've got 2 shields and a big energy advantage here, so we're going to have to call a bait. It's a Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, the opponent does outplay us in this game, and we do lose that game. But into the next battle, we see a Swampert in the lead. We've already seen that Greedent does win the Zero Shield scenario, and because Greedent is quite bulky, I think we're just going to play out the Zero Shields here. We also have Kyurem, which does do very well up against Swampert, so it doesn't matter if the opponent does want to use a shield in this matchup. We're still looking fairly comfortable. So we're going to let the second move go through. Once again, they do full send an Earthquake, but it doesn't do enough damage here. So we're going to go for a Body Slam. We actually grab the shield here. Now we swap into Kyurem, making sure we don't get farmed down. We bait out an Obstagoon, and this is fine for us. We can go for the Glaciate, debuff their attack, and honestly, we should be able to make it to a Dragon Claw before this opponent even throws their energy. So that ends up being really good for us. We even grab a shield, the final shield from this opponent. They go for a Cross Chop. It doesn't quite take us out, but that's fine. We can easily farm them down with our Hitmontop. We can let this move go through, but we do actually shield the Cross Chop. We don't know what is in the back yet. And the opponent's going to come in with a Charizard here, so we can go straight for a Stone Edge, but the opponent goes for the catch. We hold on to the energy. Very good play here, making sure we can throw that Stone Edge into the Charizard, and this will easily one-shot a Charizard from full health, and we take that game. So very good discipline there, not throwing their energy straight away, predicting a catch, and then able to win the game. But into the next battle, we see Galarian Stunfisk. Honestly, I wouldn't have swapped out of that matchup because we've only got one Pokemon that does comfortably beat it, and Kyurem is going to struggle quite a bit because those Rock Slides are super effective. So I think I would have just soft lost the lead there, but let's see how this matchup does play out. We've seen already that that Stone Edge actually did quite a lot of damage, although we throw on alignment it looks like, and Stone Edge does put them into range where we might be able to farm them down, but I think this Jellicent does have quite a bit of residual energy. We let the Surf go through, and we are now going to come in with our Kyurem here, and I'm not sure about this. They can go for a Shadow Ball, which we probably have to shield, which we do shield, whereas if we came in with Greedent, they can only really throw those Surfs. But here we're going to shield the Rock Slide, and honestly, we go for a Glaciate here. I think I would try and swap into our Greedent once again, but let's see. The opponent lets that move go through and then swaps into their Trevenant here. So interesting play. We go for the Glaciate again. It connects. It does big damage, and they let us fully farm them down, which is huge. They do now make it to another Rock Slide. Rock Slide barely doesn't take us out, but they get a Mud Shot farm down and up 2 shields. I'm not sure we're going to be able to take this game here, but let's see. It will be a pretty close end game. They go for the Earthquake. It doesn't do half our health, so we should be able to live a second Earthquake if they get there. I think we chose to no bubble that, expecting the shield. We make it to another Body Slam, and we might just be able to make it to a third Body Slam in time. They're already at another Earthquake though, so it's going to be incredibly close. Earthquake doesn't take us out. Can we get to the Body Slam? We win the CMP tie up against this Stunfisk, and Body Slam takes out the Stunfisk, and we take that game. So honestly, I did not expect us to win that game, but we did just barely clutch that game with the Greedent once again. And into the next battle, we see a Walrein in the lead. Pretty neutral lead once again. I think Greedent is just a very neutral Pokemon in general, unless we do see a fighting type. But here we're going to go for the Body Slam. Body Slam does some decent damage here, and we should be able to make it to another Body Slam before this opponent does make it to an Earthquake, and even then Earthquake won't be enough damage to take us out. The opponent does go for the Earthquake there, and we're able to get the farm down once again, just narrowly winning the lead once again. We come out with the Body Slam loaded, throwing it into the Swampert, and at this point we can come in with our Kyurem here, and the opponent will make it to an Earthquake just before we get to a Glaciate here, so we're going to respect the damage, and it is the Earthquake. They did full send it. Now we can massively overfarm, going for the Dragon Claw. I think that might have been a CMP tie here. Dragon Claw just takes out the Swampert. We can now go for a Glaciate. This will debuff their attack, and then we should be swapping into our Hitmontop, and that's exactly what we do. Now at this point, I probably wouldn't shield this up because they're probably going to bait, but they're actually running Blast Burn, so that turns out to be a great shield in this matchup. Now we throw at the back-to-back. We don't win CMP unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. They're so low that we can Dragon Breath, farm down with the Kyurem, and take that game. And into the next battle, we see a Giratina in the lead, and the opponent's going to swap out straight away into Charizard. We don't have the best response here because obviously we are running Stone Edge on our Hitmontop, but generally we do lose that matchup, and the same thing with our Kyurem. Unfortunately, Dragon Claws do chunk quite a bit. They go for a Blast Burn here, and they will make it to a Dragon Claw just before we get to a second Body Slam, but we will live this. So once again, we might just soft win this lead matchup here, going for that second Body Slam. A Body Slam does take out the Charizard. They come back in with Giratina. They are running Shadow Claw. We make it to a crunch in time. I'm not sure if we can swap out of this matchup, so we might just let them get a massive farm down, but the opponent gives up switch advantage. That's absolutely huge. We can come in with our Hitmontop and just fully counter down this Obstagoon. No shield anything here because it's not going to do too much damage, and we're going to come out with a Stone Edge loaded, and we should be winning CMP up against a Giratina as well. So we go for that Stone Edge straight away, and Stone Edge does grab a shield from the opponent. We swap out though because they would be able to fully farm us down. We're going to shield up the Ancient Power. Interesting play here. The opponent looks like they're lagging a little bit, and I think they've just given up. And yeah, it does look like they've given up, or maybe they've lagged out, not really sure. But the Dragon Claw eventually will take out the Giratina, and we do take that game. So I'm interested to know if they did lag out of that matchup. But into the next battle, we see Alola Ninetales. Great to see it in the lead because, of course, our backline is weak to Charm. We go for the Body Slam straight away, and that does some decent chunk damage to this Alola Ninetales. We're going to go for another Body Slam before they even throw their charge move, really putting on the pressure on this Alola Ninetales. And at this point, I think we just let this move go through. And we do, it's just a Weather Ball, and the opponent does throw a second Weather Ball, knowing we were very close to another Body Slam, so we do just barely lose that lead matchup, but we get a counter farm down. They come in with Trevenant, we're going to go for a Stone Edge, and then I think we might try and catch a move, or just swap into our Kyurem here, but the opponent does get off a charge move. Not sure that's enough for a Shadow Ball, it's just a Seed Bomb, so we let it go through. We can come in with the Kyurem here, and at this point, is this just another Seed Bomb? We're going to shield it up. Unfortunately, they do just bait us. We're going to go for a Dragon Claw here. And this should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent, but they will make it to another charge move in time. Are we going to let this move go through? No, we do shield it up, and it is the Shadow Ball this time around. So we do overfarm. They've got a Shadow Gliscor in the back. We can go for that Glaciate. It nearly one-shots them there, and then we should be able to make it to the Dragon Claw in time to take out this Trevenant. And we're able to take that game. So going into the final battle of this video, we lead into a Shadow Muck. And we are once again just going to play out this lead matchup, and I think this is probably another matchup where we do just barely edge it with the Tackle Greedent. So we go for a Body Slam. A second Body Slam will be enough damage to take them out after a few more tackles. We let the Dark Pulse go through, and we should be able to outpace them here, although they do throw a charge move. Should just be a Thunder Punch at this point. It is. We do hang on. We get off the Body Slam, and is this enough damage to take them out? No, but we grab the shield instead, and that's absolutely fine. We're also able to get the Dragon Breath farm down before they make it to a Dark Pulse, so that's absolutely huge. We bait out a Wall Rain here, and we're going to go straight for the Dragon Claw. The opponent lets it go through, and we should be able to live whatever they throw. So we're going to let it go through. It is the Icicle Spear. We're now going to go for a second Dragon Claw, and they should let this move go through as well, but they might be able to farm us down at this point. But no, we make it to a third Dragon Claw with literally 1 HP remaining. That's absolutely huge. We come in with Greedent. The opponent doesn't even get off their charge move, and now we've got a Hitmontop, although we're up against a Trevenant, so this won't be the most comfortable matchup ever. But I think we should have this in the bag. We go for the Stone Edge. It does huge damage to the Trevenant. We're going to shield it up. It is a Seed Bomb bait, unfortunately, and this will just be another Seed Bomb, but we're going to shield it up. I'm not sure about this. And at this point, we are not even going to go for the Stone Edge. This is a definite misplay here because close combat is double resisted and it barely doesn't take them out. And now we've debuffed ourselves. Seed Bomb does take us out, and they Shadow Claw farm us down to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. As for my opinion, I'm going to go with Sharpedo. I think it does max out literally just below 2,500 with that level 51 best buddy boost, so that would be really awesome to have as a Shundo. I know a few people actually have it as a shiny Shundo as well, including the Angry Trainer, which is really fitting for his name, but yeah, that would be one that I would love to have. If you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.